whole concept of the song was written for zombies, but we really wanted to do something that wasn't what we'd already done. And this time we wanted to kind of indulge a little bit on a darker, more cerebral, alternative vibe. You know, we had these 2 chords that we were going off of, and we're kind of just twisting drop D in a way. If you change the chords too much, it takes away the toughness. So it was cool that you came up with that little...
Yeah, I kind of took a page out of Jimmy's book. He always loved those wheedlies, you know, with the Afterlife riff that he wrote. He's always wheedly that shit. So it sounded like a blip in time for the stuff that we've already done, but it was still fresh because it's not something that is our natural inclination. Plus it toughened the song up, I felt too. Instead of like old school bluesy, it was now kind of this modern big metal thing underneath.
We wanted to do something dark at the beginning with acoustic guitars or clean guitars. What we ended up with was actually a play on the vocal melody. And the vocal melody didn't come till later, so this intro actually came after the fact. We didn't think there should be too many parts. So let's break down this intro. It's kind of just you playing the vocal melody over some ominous guitars and some noises.
Yeah, so these weren't, right? It's one guitar, yeah, these weren't overdubbed. Get the room mic, and here's some ambience. Really cool too.
Let's hear the guitar riff, because we had this cool phaser on the guitar that kind of makes the whole thing feel warped, which is very cool.
A little phaser, but done with a whammy or expression pedal.
Is that me? I did the...
Yeah, you're running those. Yeah.
Now this verse comes back and we nail it again. And then for Brooks, we basically told him just to run circles around this beat, you know, because you can play a riff like this over and over and it can get really stale fast.
Yeah.
I mean, let's bring up these drums. And again, this is one day setup, knocked it out. We were going for that big Led Zeppelin type of feel. A much different drum tone than we were looking for from the stage.
Yeah.
This is just all about groove. Just all about playing over the beat and just kind of twisting the song up in his own way.
Totally.
There's a great groove on this. It just keeps the beat moving forward with the ride and the hi-hat.
Yeah, da-da-dan, da-da-dan, da-da-dan. It's just, yeah.
So yeah, Brooks was just playing circles around this thing. So here we got, this was actually added later. We had the chorus already. You had written the pre-chorus and the chorus, but we added these kind of sinister, no pun intended, guitars that really made the chorus darker.
Quintessential breezy right there.
And that note hanging. So, and then did you want to play those guitars over the chorus?
Oh yeah. So here's the fuzzy dual on that. So the original idea that you had was to do duals in there. But then we just did this lead line. It was super powerful.
It was actually the duals only sounded good on like the last note.
Right.
So we added the duals in at the end, and the note by itself was more powerful. So here's the duals.
Ring out and get that overtone.
Yeah, just adds a little bit of tension, which is cool. As that kind of walks down. On the chorus, there's one thing we thought was very 90s was to kind of sing through the CB radio.
Yeah.
You know, sort of thing. So these harmonies.
The sun came out today.
See, two.
Yeah, two different things. But that must not have been mixing there.
Scarred by the acid stain. On the shelf, a jar that holds my brain.
So we sang through the CB radio type contraption that Joe had, and then also a regular vocal mic, so we had a clean take of that so Andy could mix in there whatever his little heart desired. Another thing I want to say about the vocals, you know, we added doubles on every second line, which we can kind of check that out.
Only blackness.
Only blackness with
Only blackness. Only blackness.
and reach in there. As soon as we move on to the bridge, I mean, this is just like I remember initially the drums played through, and then we did the ending and we loved how it had a break, so then we made the break.
Yeah.
And then we had Brooke throw in the weird timing on the drums,
Yeah.
like a stutter. I remember at the time I was really excited about it because of how strange it was.
Yeah.
Now I'm used to it, so I'm like,
Yeah.
And probably to a first-time listener, they're like,
What are you
what the
doing?
hell are you
Yeah.
guys, what the hell's going
People
on?
have said it's such a weird bridge, a lot to take in, and this to us is like
very simple.
what a simple song.
Yeah.
What? Dude, these
So when the
guys,
snare
that's
comes
right.
in late, right? So
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
so right here you kind of figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And so let's go to these vocals first.
Yeah, so here's the untreated. And these come in. So this is what they sound like after you
A little bit of reverb.
Yeah.
I love how this kind of walks down.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a weird one because we kept thinking the walk down was going to work the whole time and it didn't.
Yeah, we just liked the way it sounded. I mean, the walk down worked technically, but it just felt so like static. Like it was just okay. Of course,
had a
we're
lot
gonna
more
follow it
tension.
down. Yeah. But you leave that. Yeah. So it does it different times in the guitar. Cool.
Let's go to the solo because the solo is probably the most unique solo that I've ever heard you do. And we were throwing on different songs and listening for inspiration and something just hit you. And you picked up a guitar in like a completely different way, fingers only, and you made something that part of it sounds like a saxophone.
Yeah.
People have said, you guys use a saxophone in that song? It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things where the middle of this song has this bridge that takes you to left field. Then it's got a drum part that throws you off. And then not only that, you can't even feel the...
Sin the sax player comes
Yeah, you
in
can't even feel the
fucking your world.
normalcy of a normal guitar solo. Then
Yeah.
the guitar starts doing this thing, and but once you get into it, it's just nice to hear something different
Yeah.
and interesting. You want to play it and solo it up.
Yeah, it's just wiggling little fingers, and I got the whammy bar in my pinky, and I'm just pulling it and fucking doing weird shit.
It's the sax, dude. Then the shredder comes in, right?
Yeah.
And this is like a great example of, you don't overthink this stuff. You don't write it out before.
Right.
You let Brooks do what he's going to do. You get some great fills, and then you go in there and you work off him. You want to write a great song, but then when you get in the studio, see what happens.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get cool moments.
Yeah.
That's one thing that we do so much better than we used to.
Totally.
Before it was every single thing was planned out, and now you have moments like that where that's just like jamming. That's just music at its most primal form.
Yeah.
Just like, what are you doing? I'm playing off that,
Right.
and you just go with it.
Yeah. All right, and then we got the final chorus guy.
Defeating all the voices in my head.
And one thing I like about Joe is, he'll let the microphone overdrive. He'll let it start
Yeah.
crackling up, and I think that's fun.
Yeah, it's got kind of that old school compression like Beach Boys and stuff used to have, and certainly like some 90s bands and stuff where it was just like natural distortion happening on top of it, but not too affected. But you weren't like, oh, we got to bring that back. It's got to be so shimmery and clean and perfect and all that kind of shit. Just lets it fucking go in and out of madness.
And the last trick is the bass note at the end,
Yeah.
which is kind of like more Beatles trick, right?
Yeah.
Or a Paul McCartney trick.
It's pedaled the whole time.
And then he comes in.
It stays on that note, so they go up. Then he hits it. So it's like pure tension the whole time, and then he resolves.
And it's interesting because the first time we don't do that at all.
Yeah.
The first time it's what you'd expect the bass to do. So I think that's like pretty much it, right? And you know what's funny? The whole song was based off of these accent guitars you had. Ding, 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 ding. Remember when we first started writing, and then it kind of got pushed to the end.
Yeah.
You want to play those guitars real quick? Just those tension ones?
many tracks of guitars is that? 6? 6 tracks for clean? Cool. All it takes is 6 tracks to get it.
So that's cool. That's a lot of insight into how that song's broken down. So it's definitely a simple song on the surface, but when you kind of get under a couple layers, there's a lot of
shit.
A lot of shit. So, Mad Hatter.